The area of research I work on is network systems. And specifically, my research wants to make it perform reliably and predictably. An advisor's main job is to support graduate students in achieving their goals. That's one of the beautiful things about a PhD. It's a very customizable one-on-one experience. The area of research I work on is network systems. And specifically, my research wants to make it perform reliably and predictably. So this goes back to the days when the internet was designed, where it was just a fancy new tool and we just wanted to put stuff together so that it starts working. But today it's critical infrastructure. It's almost as important as oxygen. So we need to make sure that this internet of the future supports applications that need that level of predictable, reliable performance. And the way that our group tries to do that is to come up with principled ways in which we can design networks. Early on, when I was in grad school, I thought of myself purely as a researcher, sort of a brain on a stick, if you will. But it turns out that there is other human parts to the person as well. And in grad school, it's important to not forget that and sort of try to be a whole person instead of just being a researcher. So how is the field going to evolve in the future? Well, computer scientists are lucky in the sense that our field looks completely different every 10 years. So today we are all crazy about AI, and that's certainly going to continue going into the future. But there are also always going to be other opportunities. For instance, as I said before, computer systems are now critical infrastructure. They're no longer fancy toys, and we need to design them as such. So designing computer systems are going to be increasingly involved in even life-threatening cases. So figuring out how to make them work all the time is an important aspect of it. And how does the department prepare students for all of these changes? Well, one hopes that during a PhD, a person learns not only the specialized skills in their field, but also how to be a more general purpose researcher. And I think this happens almost universally because you're supposed to pick up new knowledge on your own. You're supposed to work under a lot of uncertainty. Most of the time, we don't know what we're doing, and the program prepares students to operate under that level of uncertainty. So I would hope that even as the field changes dramatically, students would be well prepared. Graduate students do almost all of the research that's happening in a department, and advisors are just that. They're advisors, they're not bosses. It's really the graduate students who are independent researchers who are leading the charge on all of this. So at least with our group, we want to keep sort of constant communication with the industry to make sure that the problems we solve are real and that they will have real world impact, while at the same time sort of balancing the fact that academia has this very precious resource where the public just gives us money for pursuing open-ended research, and sort of our responsibility is to use that money responsibly to make sure that we are doing research that the industry, commercially funded projects cannot do. But other than that, we're constantly in communication with industry. Our students often do internships to gain both experience and insight into what happens at the industry. And many of the students eventually decide to go to industry for jobs.